Hey, what's happening, guys? It's Will Ripley here, coming at you live with Campfire Guitar Star. So what we're going to get into today is lead guitar sound. Okay, I want to give you some ideas that you can actually use with your current gear setup that you have right now, so you can just kind of take whatever it is that you have, whether that's a Fender style guitar or a Gibson style guitar, humbucker, single coil, whatever the case is. And let's just use what you have right now to kind of dial in a more inspiring lead guitar sound. Okay, because I'm going to show you a bunch of different things that will just get your solos and your lead guitar playing just kind of cooking. All right, so let me know that you guys are out there by giving me dropping in a comment. And of course, because it's live lesson Wednesday, my thing is just like cutting off the top of my head. Let's see, is that better? There, my head's in view. Okay. And also, guys, tomorrow, if you've been keeping up with the emails that I've been sending out, you'll know that Lead Guitar Star, our proprietary big-time lead guitar soloing course, we're going to launch it tomorrow at this big discount. So if you do have any questions whatsoever about Lead Guitar Star and what entails inside the program and what it's all about and if it's going to be right for you, please, please, please don't hesitate to ask any questions. This is a great opportunity to, of course, accelerate and get to the next level with your own lead guitar playing. But also, yeah, it's a great opportunity to just see if this is going to be if the course is going to be a good fit for you. Okay, so let's just talk about this topic here. So, of course, the very first thing that you'll notice there's distortion on the guitar, right? Okay, and of course, that is one of the biggest things with kind of getting a good guitar tone going on for lead guitar, is just getting some good sustain, gain, crunch, distortion, even compression. Like all those words, they kind of almost all go in one in a way. So again, like gain, distortion, crunch, distortion. I said distortion already. Anyways, you know what I mean? So, but also sustain. Sustain is another word that we throw around with guitar tone and stuff like that. So yeah, so I wanted to kind of break down some of these things. And also we're going to talk about kind of like what you can do with your hands, okay? Because maybe you've heard that tone is in the fingers, okay? So that's another good thing that we're going to talk about. I'm going to show you how you can attack the strings and stuff like that, okay? So let's talk about just kind of the general setup. So, of course, like I was just mentioning, it's all about getting some gain going on. And one of the biggest things that I do, I usually do two things when I go for a solo when I'm playing live in my band, okay? I do two things. I switch to my bridge pickup, okay? So that means I'm activating this bridge pickup. You can hear it there. So this one isn't on. That's always just, by the way, a quick test to figure out what your switches do. You can always just tap them with a pick, and if you can't hear them, right, like that one's really coming through, that one's not. So therefore, this one's on. This one, in this case, they're both on. And then this one's on, and that one's not, right? So I do two things, one of which is switch to the bridge pickup. I make sure my volume is turned all the way up. And the second thing I do is I hit a distortion pedal, okay? And distortion and overdrive, there's kind of like a slight kind of crossover between the two because they're essentially kind of doing the same thing. However, in the guitar effects world, you definitely want to think of them as kind of two separate entities. So those are the two things that I always do when I'm going for a solo, because I'm trying to boost my sustain and my gain, okay, and the distortion, and again, like all those words where you can kind of clump together. And then also I'm trying to boost my volume, okay? And that's what a pedal can do, a volume pedal. So, and that's actually maybe the third thing that I'll do is I also have a volume pedal on my board because, I don't know, let me know, you know how when you're at a show and the guitar solo, the guitarist that's playing live goes to play a solo and you just cannot hear a single thing he plays? Hands up if you've ever seen that guy, okay? And that's because there's just not enough volume boost. So as soon as you switch from your big thick chords that are, you know, like super muscular, then when you go for like single notes, all of a sudden our guitar sound, you know, is a little thinner. So we need more boosters and more volume boosts and stuff like that. And in fact, a lot of times on like pro shows, the pro audio guy will actually boost up the guitar solo through the big PA system. Okay, so that's always something to keep in mind. But anyway, so those are kind of the two things that I always do when I'm hitting a solo: bridge pickup, hit an overdrive pedal. Is on a Gibson, however. I started learning this because I was really into Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine. And let me know if you like Tom Morello too. But anyway, so what he would do, and he still does to this day, he turns one pickup all the way down, one pickup all the way up, and you know, all that kind of stuff. So he actually does a kill switch, and you can do that on any Gibson style guitar. So again, one is off, one is on. And it's just kind of a cool little thing that you can do. Have you ever seen my white Strat that I've often played in the lessons and stuff like that? I actually had a kill switch installed on that guitar. Anyway, so my point here is that you can actually have one volume turned down, so you get your rhythm sound. Again, I'm going to hit two things: bridge pickup, which is turned all the way to 10, and I hit my overdrive pedal, okay, and then I got... Okay, so again, if I got my, so then that way you can kind of set up two different volumes, right? So we got... Okay, so that's a really big thing with just kind of setting up your guitar to do that. But the same goes with the Strat. Like if I'm on a Strat, I'm just going to go to the bridge pickup, okay, which almost always just has more cut because it's a little more bitey of a tone. You know, make sure my volume's rolled all the way up, and the Strat is beautiful that way because you can actually access the volume knob really quickly. So you just turn that up, make sure that's to 10, switch to the bridge pickup, and again, hit an overdrive pedal to boost your distortion and your volume at the same time. And there you have it, okay? So that's a little rundown on the tone knobs. And if you've ever seen the movie with Jack White, The Edge from U2, and Jimmy Page, they did It Might Get Loud. Let me know if you've ever seen that movie. It's pretty cool if you like guitar, which I'm guessing you do. And so like Jimmy Page does this really cool little piece in the movie where he plays Ramble On, just him on a Les Paul. So he's doing that exact same thing that we just talked about, which was having your chords on the rhythm pickup and then having kind of like, you know, the chorus or a solo on the other pickup. So he's doing something like this, like the Ramble On kind of chords. Okay, so you can see that there's actually quite a bit of cool stuff that you can do just strictly with your volume knobs on your guitar. And that will really set up a nice searing, hot, fat, muscular, masculine, if you caught me earlier saying masculine tone. Yeah, and then so that's kind of some cool little tips and tricks that you can do with whatever you have. So really you want to look for that gain knob on your amp and make sure that that's turned up. And just using your volume knob will actually just reduce the gain of your amplifier. So even though this is a volume knob, it's kind of like, it also controls the distortion, and you know, it's something that a lot of really famous guitar players have used a lot, okay, to their advantage. So definitely don't underestimate the volume knob and also the tone knob too. It's something that actually just really, you know, I've always known about it, I've always messed around with it, especially in recording and stuff, but in the last year, since I've been playing a lot of gigs, you know, I've just been hearing more and more about it, and then I was using a single channel amp where I had to do that, you know, if I wanted to get a clean sound. So again, never underestimate the volume knob. It can, it can really just make 1 amp sound into something that's actually really quite versatile, okay? Okay, and then the other thing that you'll hear almost always is a little bit of delay as well, okay? So right here I've got, again, I'll switch to the bridge pickup, turn on my overdrive pedal, and I know you can't see my feet, but that's what I'm doing down there. And here's a little bit of delay, right? So the echo, 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 right? And so when I'm playing though, when I'm ripping a solo, oftentimes you can't really hear the delay. Like it's not like an obvious thing, like, oh man, the delay is saturated, or man, there's all kinds of echo in his guitar. So that's kind of a really big tonal secret for you to get a fatter lead sound and something that's more inspiring to play, is just putting on a little bit of delay. It just kind of fills in the spaces, can help with some sustain, and yeah, I just find it just more inspiring. Like it just kind of lights me up a little bit when I turn on some delay. Okay, so again, so I got about this much delay. And then when I go ahead and play, like you might notice it, but it's not going to be something that's overbearing. Okay, you can hear it when I don't play, but let me know if that's something that you, if that helped you, or maybe you knew that already. Let me know in the comments. But yeah, that's something that's like kind of like the third or maybe fourth thing that I'll do for solos: bridge pickup, overdrive, delay, volume pedal. Just try to make that tone as big and as saturated and as loud as possible. So there's a bunch of tips just kind of like gear wise, okay? And we talked a lot about switching the pickups and the volume knobs and stuff like that, okay? So let's just switch gears here for a second and actually talk about the approach and like some things that you can do, again, just with your hands, with your guitar that you have now, with the amp that you have now, that's going to give you more sustain. What's up, Jacob and Brittany? I see your comments there. And yeah, so that's okay. And I always get, that's the problem with comments. Like I love comments, I want to see them, and then I'm like, what was I talking about? Okay. Okay, so what was I talking about? Tone knobs, distortion and delay. Oh yeah. So we're talking about gear, but now we're going to talk about stuff that you can actually play and actually do with your hands, okay? And whatever gear you have. So one of the biggest things is getting sustain, okay? So now if I just hit one note, that note's gonna die off pretty quickly, like it's gonna get buried, okay? But what I can actually do is with vibrato, you can work a little bit more sustain. What's up, Gmo? So this actually sustains the note, okay? And it kind of just works that string and just kind of makes it sustain a little bit longer. And with enough distortion and stuff like that going on, you'll get this beautiful thing called feedback, okay? So let's just see if I can just take a spin at this. Okay, and you'll notice that I'm pointing the guitar at the amp. Okay, that's what I'm doing. You'll see guitarists do this. And sure enough, I'm just getting more sustain out of each note, okay? And that's how I'm doing that, right? I'm just, so what happens is the sound from the amp goes into the pickups and it creates a loop like that, right? So the sound goes into the pickups, it's going out of the guitar, into the amp, out of the amp, into the pickups, and it's creating what you call a feedback loop, okay? And so that's a way that you can get sustain, and it helps when there's just a little bit more volume. I don't want to like crank the, the studio here too loud, but Yeah, so a lot of that kind of depends on your guitar placement. So maybe if I actually stood like closer to the camera or a little bit farther away, I might be able to get more of that feedback loop happening. Okay, so that's another thing that you can do with the gear that you actually have right here, right now. Okay, so that's a feedback loop, and but how I started talking about that was getting vibrato down. Okay, so there's really two types of vibrato. So you've got your vibrato on one string, but then you've also got bends with vibrato. So you got to, like, you can bend a string. So that's without vibrato, but if I bend it with vibrato. Okay, so vibrato is such an important part about getting a great lead guitar sound. Okay, so if I show up at a jam night and I'm playing through a completely unfamiliar rig, maybe they don't even have a booster or overdrive, and I don't have the ability to do, you know, all the boosting and like gain boosting and volume boosting that I was talking about earlier, then you gotta rely on your fingers, okay? And you gotta rely on that sustain that you're gonna get from your vibrato, okay? So that's one big thing. And we're gonna go into this really, really deep, guys, in Lead Guitar Star, all the different types of vibrato and stuff, and that's, again, available tomorrow. And if you had any questions about Lead Guitar Star, please let me know, because yeah, it's going to be available tomorrow at a wicked discount. And so anyway, but yeah, there's all kinds of different types of vibrato. Here I'm doing my thumb and finger lock, and I'm twisting my finger. Okay, and then of course bends are their own thing, and then bends plus vibrato. And I don't want to overwhelm you, but yeah, all that stuff with the left hand is just so important. Okay, but with the right hand, here's something that you can do right away. Okay, so big thing is the attack of the strings. Okay, so if you punch somebody this hard, it doesn't really hurt, but if you punch somebody this hard, it's going to really hurt, right? So the guitar is kind of the same. Like, we can kind of make it sting and cry and scream if we hit it harder. Okay, so and that's kind of like such a cool thing about it. Like, we can unleash a lot of our aggression into the guitar, and the guitar just reacts just how we want it to, right? So check this out. So what you'll notice is when I'm hitting these notes, a really big part is my attack with my right hand, okay? So just try this for a second, like dial up any note. I'm just choosing the D string, 5th fret, and check this out. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cover the low strings with my thumb, and I'm gonna rainbow my first finger up and across the strings so that these top ones, they don't get hit. And check this out. I'm gonna strike all 6 strings with my right hand. But you'll notice only 1 string is ringing. So let me know, give that a shot, and let me know in the comments if that was something that you're able to do. Okay, so that's the very first step of this right hand technique that you want to get down. Okay, and so, and what you'll notice is that, again, bridge pickup, more distortion, is that when I'm going into a single note, I'm winding up. Okay, there's that vibrato. Okay, but it all starts with an aggressive attack with your right hand. Okay. Okay, and so how I'm doing that is I'm winding up, and I'm like I said, I'm covering the strings with my left hand, but I'm also stopping the strings with my right hand. I'm doing kind of like this movement. I'm strumming the strings, but I'm hitting the strings with the heel of my hand, which actually ends up stopping the strings from ringing. Okay. So you'll see that like a side profile. See that my hand's kind of in this position, so I stop those strings from ringing. It's also getting stopped up here, but it's kind of like your A plan and your B plan working together to stop those strings, okay? So, yeah, you can't guitar sound and just sound like you got a great tone, and things are like searing and hot and inspiring, and they just sound legitimate. Well, I'm telling you, man, getting the left hand technique going on with those bends and vibrato, control, getting your bends in tune, you know, not hitting wrong notes and all that kind of stuff. Again, control with your right hand then yeah, you're going to be just making the notes just sting and scream. Okay. Okay, so I wondered if I had anything else for you guys. I guess another big thing, like maybe if you've been keeping up with us lately, you'll notice that we're releasing a bunch of lead guitar techniques, and we've got the flying V going on. This is really my homage to Jimi Hendrix and Albert King, who are really famous for playing flying Vs. And yeah, so, but it's just such a lead guitar icon, you know, like when everybody sees one of these guitars, it just makes you think about like searing lead hot rock guitar. So I've been playing this guitar quite a bit in these lessons, which has been cool because I haven't actually played this guitar very much in lessons. But yeah, it's what I wanted to lead into was our Lead Guitar Star program, which is going to be out tomorrow, Thursday, May 24th. We're going to do a promotion for it across the weekend. And so you're definitely going to want to tune into that. It's going to be at a wicked discount. And yeah, 5-Minute Guitar, our program is going to be in the same place as Lead Guitar Star. So you're really getting 2 programs for the price of 1. And if you don't have 5-Minute Guitar already, make sure to get it. We've got the compatible book. I saw Brittany in here earlier. Brittany, I don't know if you can tell anybody about the 5-Minute Guitar book and your experience with it, but do write in a comment if you get anything to say about it. But yeah, so I wrote this book. I'm really proud of it. It goes with the 5-Minute Guitar video course. And yeah, we just ask that you pay the shipping for the book, but otherwise the whole system is valued at $140, and that's for free. Okay, and yeah, we have all these other great programs, and one of them is Lead Guitar Star. Okay, so it's really broken down into 3 modules. Okay, and I feel like you can probably, like, even if you don't end up grabbing Lead Guitar Star at the discount and on the promotion, I feel like you can still take this, take something away from what I'm about to tell you right now. Okay. So really, lead guitar is broken up into 3 things. Okay, number 1 is the techniques. Okay, everything from whether that's finger tapping to pick tapping, okay, or bends and vibrato, which we talked a little bit about today, and also, yeah, just picking and slides and hammer-ons and pull-offs and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of techniques involved with lead guitar, right? And if you caught one of my recent lessons, I talked about how I feel like all lead guitar is kind of like intermediate, you know, because it's not like super easy beginner stuff, because again, there's just all those overarching techniques that you got to get going on. So you got to get all the lead guitar vocabulary going on. Okay, and again, those techniques. Okay, and step number 2, and this is module number 2 in Lead Guitar Star. Again, Lead Guitar Star is broken up into 3. Hey, yeah, pinch harmonics. How about that? There's another good one. Okay, thanks for the comment on the shirt. And that's another reason why I wore the shirt. It actually just came in the mail today, because yeah, so I got hit with an Instagram ad, and I was like, that's a cool shirt. I'm just gonna buy it. So it showed up today, and I was like, how perfect. I'll play the Flying V, which is such an icon. And we actually cover 1 or 2 Nirvana solos in Lead Guitar Star. So it was like bridging the gap between, you know, 70s rock guitar and in Nirvana in the 90s. So anyways, thanks for that comment on the shirt. Anyways, so step number 2, and this is module number 2 in Lead Guitar Star, which is all about learning solos note for note. Okay, I can't emphasize and stress this and how important this is for you and your lead guitar development. Okay, and so learning solos and licks, like you don't have to necessarily learn a complete solo, but you should. And you should absolutely learn complete solos. But even if you just learn 1 lick note for note, or like just a sequence of notes from a solo, that's going to be so good for you, because then all of a sudden you're kind of tapping into the rock star vibe and what the pros do. Okay, and so just learning from the pros will absolutely help you. Okay, and that we cover in Lead Guitar Star. Again, it's available tomorrow. In module 2, we cover all kinds of solos from Nirvana. And we also cover some Jimi Hendrix solo, David Gilmour, Santana, and Led Zeppelin. We do some Slash, okay, and things like that. And hey, by the way, that's a big tip. Like Sweet Child of Mine is really the neck pickup with the tone knob rolled all the way down. So check this out. you see what I mean? So there's another technique for you, like neck pickup, tone rolled all the way down, and that's a big technique that Slash uses. I meant to mention that earlier. So anyways, I just remembered because we teach Sweet Child of Mine and some stuff like that. So anyways, so the module 2 in Lead Guitar Star is all about learning solos note for note, and we provide the tabs, the step-by-step breakdown. Okay, so there's an entire module just dedicated to learning awesome solos. Red Hot Chili Peppers is another band and stuff that we cover. Okay, and number 3, the third step for your lead guitar development is getting the concepts and the language together, okay? And so you can improvise and learn and play your own solos, okay? So when you're jamming with people, or if you're writing something or recording something, or you're just noodling away, like just having the ability and some language, just like, so let's just pretend that we don't know the same language, okay? Neither of us speak English. And we get into a room together. How do we communicate? Okay, so I might, and so getting back to guitar, we might do something like this. Okay, and you might say something back, and I might go, okay, a little bit more intensity in space, right? I stop, right? So that's an example of something that you can do in a form of language with lead guitar, is the space, okay? Okay, you see, I'm kind of like having a conversation with myself on the lead, like playing kind of lead guitar solo stuff. Okay, so then that's really step number 3. So again, number 1, get those techniques down: hammer-on, pull-offs, pinch harmonics, sweep picking, picking, just picking in general, pick tapping, finger tapping, all the lead guitar kind of techniques. Let's get those down, and then we cover all those in module 1. Okay. Module 2, in your step number 2 for you to develop as a lead guitar soloist, is to learn solos and learn licks note for note. Okay, and again, I can't emphasize how important that is. Okay, because you just learn from, say, Eric Clapton, Slash, and Jimi Hendrix, and then you just put it all into a big mixing pot, and then you got something that teaches you just so much about lead guitar. And then step 3 is to really find your own voice. So to understand theory, language, okay? And so if you ever want to understand modes, how they're applied to music, major pentatonic scales, minor pentatonic scales, all the lead guitar kind of concepts, that's step number 3, and that's what we cover in module 3 in Lead Guitar Star. Again, so Lead Guitar Star is a course that's valued at $100. It's available right inside the membership area, and this weekend it's going on sale. We're gonna do a big promo for it. So definitely you're gonna wanna get, I'll make sure that the link is in the description below. And also, if you're checking out this video right here, right now, you'll see the button below to actually purchase the course. Okay, so I'll make sure that stuff is available for you. Again, it won't be available until tomorrow, Thursday, and the promotion is over Sunday at midnight. So if you do have any questions for me right here, right now about the program, don't hesitate to ask. I'd love to hear from you. But yeah, that's really the kind of the big thing is breaking lead guitar down into those 3 steps. And of course, what we went over today was all kinds of, guitar-related kind of stuff about just kind of setting the stage for a good lead guitar sound, okay? And yeah, we can do a lot just with the guitar that you have and just with distortion, okay? So, and your volume knobs, your tone knobs, what pickups you're using, okay, and all that kind of stuff. And then, of course, really a lot of it comes down to how well you can play with your vibrato on the left hand, your right hand attack, okay, and all that kind of stuff. So if there's no questions, then I'm gonna head out, guys. But yeah, definitely check out Lead Guitar Star. And again, if you're checking out this video on the sales page, you just gonna click that button below that says Get Lead Guitar Star. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll make sure that the description is, the link is in there in the description for you below. Okay, guys, my name is Will Ripley. I'm checking out. Thanks for tuning in. I do appreciate it a lot. Me and Mike B will be back with more content very soon. And until then, rock on, my friends. Later.